Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you wherever and whenever you are joining us. Welcome to our latest edition of What Caught My Eye, or WCME Sports. The date is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026 at approximately 8:28 in the PM Eastern Standard Time. As always, I'm joined by the man Stephen Comlow and the boy Stephen Vesci. I am your host, the coach Nick Vesci. Before we get into our top catch for the evening, just a reminder to follow us on all of our social media. That's on X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Snapchat, and Threads at WCME_sports. Our episodes drop every Wednesday at noon on Spotify, YouTube, and iHeartRadio, and all that information can be found on our website, WCMEsports.com. Now, without further ado, we get into our top catch for the show. And this week, we went with the event we covered as members of the press corps. Yes, we had press credentials and a press badge hanging from a lanyard around our neck. It was the Lexus Championship Series for the PLL and the WLL taking place at the St. James in Springfield, Virginia, just south of Washington, D.C. Now, before we get into the action that we saw, and before we start drinking a beer...
And we're drinking a beer.
Brockmeyer. Before we get into it, just want to remark on the venue itself. Right.
Holy.
So we're parking feels like ways away. It's essentially an industrial park. We're next to a quarry, a metals factory. There's all these tractor trailers. There's trash all over the place.
Glass on the sidewalk.
Yeah, and like, what the hell is this thing? You turn a corner, and it's the most magnificent sportsplex you've ever seen in your life. This thing had a whole restaurant and bar, at least multiple bars, actually. Mm-hmm. It had 2 full-size hockey rinks, 1 basketball area that had 4 NBA size, and the boy pointed out they had the high school line, college line, and the NBA three-point line on all 4 of these courts there. There's a water park inside of this place. There's a rock wall. There's a daycare. I think I heard, there's a weight room, obviously, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's like at least 1 swimming pool. There might be multiple swimming pools in this freaking place. And then you have where we were, which was, I think they call the field house, which is this big turf field area where you had stands and bleachers on each side. And that's where the Champ Series was being held with the lacrosse players.
Wonderful venue.
First off, just awe-inspiring venue. I cannot believe that exists.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it existed and we didn't know about it. It literally is like a wonderland for sports people. Like, if you play sport, they have it for you there.
I would never leave there.
It's almost disrespectful because this is like a mecca.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
And obviously we're going to get
a whole gift shop too.
Obviously we're going to get into it a little bit more, but like, they also have locker rooms because for the hockey games that are going on, for the lacrosse event, we were there. Obviously, the players need a locker room to get changed and meet in and all that stuff and like get taken care of. But yeah, full locker rooms that could support professional sized teams.
I want to say I heard that DC United trains there or something like that, or they do some training there. That makes sense. Which, after seeing that, wouldn't surprise me either.
We're not far away from Navy Yard over there.
No, and the whole thing is insane. The whole Is it better called a Metroplex? Is that better? I don't know if that
sounds like something else.
Yeah, it is, but it's cooler sounding than Sportsplex. Because you're right, Sportsplex doesn't do it justice. This is just an incredible venue to have all these things happening at the same time as a professional lacrosse essentially tournament happening, where there were a crap ton of people there. It wasn't like, there's like 5 people here, 5 people there, we're going to cram in here. No, this venue had all people. Like it was packed. It essentially, to me, it felt like a fan fest and a celebration of lacrosse right before we get into kind of the heat of lacrosse season, which is the spring
Creators
and then
Game.
The summer.
I would agree with that.
Amazing.
A lot of things geared towards the youths.
Yeah.
The little fiddlestick area,
hilarious.
Which that was pretty sweet. The swag tent, which was fantastic, as you can see that Comlo got his swag.
Well, I mean,
immediately wearing it.
We've all been to things where, like, oh, here's the merchandise area, and whatever swag tent you want to call it. And a lot of times it's kind of lacking. They're just throwing stuff in there. It's overpriced.
This was really good.
And this wasn't the opposite of that, right? Everything in there was like such nice quality. It looked great too. Like that's the one thing that oftentimes I will say, and it's like, oh, they're trying to be too cute, make this design and that, and it doesn't look good. And then it's like $100.
Probably because they don't have Fanatics doing it. Yeah, probably because Fanatics doesn't have their merch.
That's a great point.
Isn't terrible.
That's a
right?
really good
Fanatics
point.
just
Everything
ruins
was
everything.
like champion.
It's champion.
Champion.
It was champion
quality. Yeah.
So I mean, that's why it's a lot better. I also love that like all the teams, like their logos, their color schemes, all of it are like so unique, so cool. Like it feels very different, but they're all great. Like there's not one team where I look at it and go, it's an ugly logo, ugly colors. I don't want to I would get every single one of these teams merch. Like if I could, it's awesome.
Yeah, they've done a great job with branding. Like you said, the merch is from Champion, the brand Champion. Like they even make their the PLL makes their own playing cards. Like they're not like farming this out to Topps or Bowman or Upper
Panini.
Deck or anything. The cards that you could get there are made and processed by the PLL, which is very cool. Yeah. So as people of the press, it allowed us access to some things that may not otherwise been able to. We were able to kind of go where we needed to, see the things we needed to, get the angles we wanted. Could be real up close and personal with where the players were, right? And I'm especially warming up. Now, once the game started, as we know, the lacrosse ball is like a weapon if it's fired correctly. So I didn't want any part of being, close to the field where I'd have to use my reflexes to dodge a projectile. Luckily,
that fence was a little low.
Yes. Luckily, the press area is behind a net, so we were able to go there when we needed to, or at least when I needed to sift through all the things that I had captured while we were there. Met Dre from the Dre Lax podcast, which was awesome, from out in Colorado. It was very cool to meet him. I don't know if you're going to find someone who knows more about lacrosse than him. Just straight up truth.
Yeah.
So that was cool to get to meet him, get to see everything there. Again, I thought they did such a good job with the venue too, the way it was set up, because you had the one side had all those kind of fan things going on. The other side was almost like a staging area where like the little kids who played at the halftime got to warm up, and they were playing around over there, and you had refreshments and drinks and food over there. And then on top of one of the bleachers, they had like a VIP area where you get in your maybe not your bottle service, but your nice drinks served to you, which was cool. Whatnot. And just the whole thing was very well done. If you didn't know how it goes, basically the top 4 teams from the PLL and the top 4 teams from the WLL, the Women's Lacrosse League, they kind of hold a little mini tournament doing sixes. So normal lacrosse, you got, 10 guys out there? Or 9 plus a goalie, right? And this is sixes, so it's 5 plus a goalie, kind of like what you see in hockey. And
it was essentially basketball on turf, right? Because it was face-off starts the game, so your tip-off or whatever, right? Starts the game, and then you're, like, if you score, you go right back.
Yeah.
Right? There is no live ball. There is no face-off. So you can, you saw guys sneaking out to try to, ball's going in, immediately sneak out, goalie's throwing it, throwing a go route and trying to get a quick goal. So that was really cool. So it's high scoring. It felt a lot like basketball on turf.
We also saw guys to carry on the basketball likeness there. Is we saw guys picking up full court, and we saw a guy get called for failure to advance.
Yes,
there was a 10-second. There was a 10-second violation, which was something I didn't know existed in this format of lacrosse.
Had no idea.
That was really cool. I mean, you saw guys that you fumble the ball while you're transitioning from defense to offense, and you're just dog-piled on, and they lock you down so you can't advance the ball. That was so much fun. One of the things that we kind of skipped over was one of the big sponsors for the PLL and for this tournament, Dude Wipes. We forgot about the Dude Wipes 2-pointers and the Dude Wipes interactive booth for the
I know it's your favorite part. Every time a 2-point goal, which they have
that's
in the PLL,
a Dude Wipes 2-pointer.
Just hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely, because you need a dude wipe when you go number 2.
They had a Game of Thrones style toilet, but with lacrosse sticks.
Yeah,
that everyone was taking pictures with.
Yeah, and it was sweet. A game too. I think if a kid was able to throw a ball into that toilet, he won some dude wipes.
Yeah,
nice.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, that was. I think so. That was obviously a lot of fun, but I kind of picked up on it pretty early on, and I'm sure you guys did too. But just the outpouring of and the reach that this sport had to all the young kids. There were so many young kids there, and I'm sure you guys remember when we were little, there were a lot of times where we would just go and fart around when we would go to professional sports games. when we went to Frederick Keys games, we were more often than not playing on the hill or playing on the jungle gym at that ballpark, and we weren't much older or younger than these kids were. And to see these kids actually like lock in to watch lacrosse and to support their favorite teams, and like you saw them all walking around either in jerseys from their home clubs, jerseys from their favorite teams that they were supporting in the tournament, and then of course like their version of Mites on Ice that happened at halftime. I mean, the amount of like connection that this league has with the kids, I think that's just so promising for the growth of this sport and like where this league is going to go in the next like 5 to 10 years with the outreach that they're doing, because you don't think these kids are going to remember going to something like this
and getting all their lacrosse balls,
the
signed.
autographs.
The guys are signing lacrosse balls left and right. What I thought was cool, you kind of brought it up. It wasn't like, we're in the DC area, we're going to see one team's fans or whatever. You literally saw kids and adults. That's why, to me, it felt like very much a fan fest. Kids and adults wearing jerseys and merch from every team. In the league.
Yes.
Every single team you saw, right? You saw like almost every single women's team there. You saw everything from a lacrosse perspective, which is very cool.
That surprised me because I went into that thinking like people are going to buy stuff from the merch. They'll be buying like, oh, this team or whatever, like their new favorite team or whoever's winning this game. Like they'll buy some merch from that. They showed up with it. They showed up ready to rock with their stuff. And like I was expecting more like college jerseys, right? Because the college lacrosse game has been big for the last, 15 or so years, 20 years. 25 years, And then like this has only been around for a couple years now. So I was expecting more like college jerseys, and then like, they'll make their parents buy them their favorite like New York Atlas jersey. But they showed up ready to go. And they knew the players, they knew everything. Like they were locked in from jump and ready to go. That was impressive.
We saw that one kid who got interviewed for his performance in the halftime like small-sided match, where it was almost like the kid had professional media training. He said like, I was just happy to be out here with my friends, out here to be out here with my teammates and play in the game I love, and now I get to go back and watch the game that I love. That is such a like professional level answer.
Yeah.
Like the optics for that kid just went through the roof. His draft stock is up.
Yes, give him the Wonderlic.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're drinking a beer.
But no,
that was such a fun event though. And thank you. I can't say it enough. Thank you to the PLL for giving us the access that we had.
Yes.
Because we got to see it in a light that I think that is totally different from what our experience has been. We've all been to lacrosse games of varying competition levels and have experienced it differently, but like to have that level of access to really like not just grow our knowledge of the game and like the players and the leagues, but I can say that I left there with a stronger appreciation for the sport and what the PLL and the WLL are bringing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, hats
you know
off
what,
to them.
And you know what impressed me a lot about this was this, like they're doing sixes. A lot of these guys are backups on like when you play the regular 10s or whatever, just your regular lacrosse, and the intensity that all of these guys were going at it with from like start to finish. No one loafed. No one did anything. I mean, they were hitting. They were going. They were gassed. Yeah. It's very fast, and and even your like sub in and out or whatever, right? It's going so fast. You're sprinting on and off. So there was no like, oh, like it's a mid-season tournament, we'll see what happens type thing. No, absolutely not. They were
clock adds such
100%.
A level of intensity too, compared to, and like Rexrode talked about it when we had him on one of those times was, going from college to the professional level where you have that 30-second shot clock where you got to make moves and you can't just run the clock out. Like you got to
the college shot clock is like 65 seconds or 60 seconds. Is it 80? I thought I saw it at when I was watching the Richmond game. I thought I saw it at 60.
Originally, there was no shot clock at all.
Correct. It was terrible.
And so basically what that meant is, use the rule to your advantage. If you have the best face-off guy, that almost guarantees you a win, because once you get possession, it's so hard to dispossess in lacrosse.
80 seconds.
80 seconds. Goodness.
Yes. It's so hard to dispossess in lacrosse because you're unlike hockey where dispossessing is easy because you technically never have possession of the puck. Like you know, you're always just moving it with your stick. Whereas in lacrosse, that ball's sitting in the pocket of your stick, and so it's hard to dispossess if you were that accurate with your movements. And so back in the day, it was okay. Get the ball, come down, and literally just tire the defense out for 2, 3, 4 minutes if you needed to until you got the perfect shot you needed, and then go to the face-off dot. If you win that face-off, you could have went quarters where the other team's attack doesn't even touch the ball. But now with the shot clock, even with 80 seconds, yes, we think that's long, but it's still enough that it makes the game move. We were watching 30 seconds here on sixes, and that game is moving.
It was fantastic. The 30 seconds is great. I mean, it's literally a basketball shot clock.
Yes, it is.
Right, that is what college basketball is. It's 30 seconds. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was fast-paced. It was intense. I thought the hype videos were awesome. The introductions, right?
The
production for that blew me away. I was not expecting it to be that good.
Especially considering it is
it's a sportsplex.
It's
right?
a sportsplex, right? They had to set all of that up. They needed AV guys. They needed effects guys, right? I mean, almost like Jack Black in the School of Rock, right? He had guys that did light show and pyrotechnics and dry ice. Talk about that. Yeah, the pageantry, the production, the quality of play. I mean, everything about it. Like they truly made that space their own.
Another thing that
was beautiful.
Another thing that struck me too was the size of these guys, right? We've kind of talked about and alluded to it. And if you didn't know it, you need to know it. Anyone who's a professional athlete, regardless of sport, is a freaking animal.
Yes,
it's just a
freaks.
stud. You go, all these people go, oh, well, that baseball player, he just look dumpy. No, you jabroni. Oh, that basketball player is just tall. No, these guys are, and no matter the sport, these guys are freaking animals. And what I liked was we were able to see that because we were that close. I mean, some of these guys like Romar Dennis, 6'5", 230. Sergio Perkovic, I think, was 6'4", 225. Miles Jones, 6'5", 260. Like, these guys are animals out there. And it's not like they're slow because you can't be slow at all to
not
be out there.
Small-sided lacrosse, especially.
Exactly. So that was another thing that struck me was the size and speed of these guys is like watching any other professional sport. And that's something that you lose sometimes when you watch things on TV, especially when you watch like big field lacrosse. It's kind of like when you're watching some of these other sports, you don't get a full grasp on how.
Well, also like when you watch on TV,
like when you're watching golf, like you don't fully grasp how far that guy hit that ball with that precision because it's just so vast on the screen.
Well, yeah, like
these guys are monsters
on TV too. You have that like bird's eye camera angle and you're only seeing the guys that are all the same size. So it's easy to forget. But like, I mean, heck, when we were down there on the field level, like we were a good like 30, 40 feet from some of these guys and we were still looking up at them. And neither of us are short.
No,
like none of us are short. Like we're looking up at some of these guys. Like it's crazy. Or we saw that one guy doing the post-game interview and the lady had to like hold the mic up to him. It was nuts. Yeah, that's a really good point, Nick, is that these guys are all built animals, like fucking brick houses.
Yeah, brick shit house. Is that a Bobby Neal or Patty term? One of them.
It's gotta be Bobby Neal.
Bobby Neal. Yeah, I feel like this guy's a brick shit house. That's what it felt like watching these guys. Was it just not just fast, but brick shit house, like destroy people. Now, going into a little bit of the action we watched. So we were there on Saturday night. We saw the first game was the Denver Outlaws and the California Redwoods. Redwoods looked phenomenal, just destroyed the Outlaws, which was impressive because the night before the Outlaws exacted some sort of revenge on the New York Atlas, who they defeated in the championship game last year. Not in the Champ Series, but the PLL regular season. So to see California kind of demolish, really, tear apart Denver was really impressive. The Redwoods looked great because I believe they won their game on Sunday too. That when we weren't there, they beat Carolina. So the Redwoods went 2-0 from the first weekend. The second game was the Atlas and the Carolina Chaos, who we learned the Chaos are like the scourge of the league. Everyone has an issue with them because they do something like Sean Avery doing something every single
Broad Street bullies.
Yes, like everyone.
Yeah, they were talking. They were jawing
they were off the jump. Just everything you could.
We got ourselves a little little skirmish there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
A little Donnybrook.
Donnybrook, there it is. That's the word I was looking for.
Right in front of us, which was sweet. At the end of the day, though, that second game was phenomenal. The game of the weekend. The Atlas, they gave up like 4 points or 4 goals, because you can get a 2-pointer in this, to go down, I believe, in like the final 2 minutes or something, and then they came back, tied it, and then took the lead very, very late on a great goal. I don't know if you saw, like, it was hard to see because it was on the other side from where we were, but if you watch the replay, guy literally one-handed it, like flicked it backwards just to get it off in time. It was a crazy goal. I think Kyle Jackson, I think, is his name. You have to double check me on that. Who we learned is a little bit of a goon himself, which I love. You know, the Atlas got the win, and more importantly, our boy, the incomparable Michael Rexrode, who was the captain for the game, got that victory with the Atlas. We were able to see him, congratulate him on that win, which was very cool to be able to do that. And then he immediately went into, pro mode and signing autographs for the kid who was standing next to us, which was very cool. Even making a joke about the kid wearing the other team's jersey. But still, the consummate pro he is.
He said, and again, just to kind of like go back to what we were saying about everybody having their merch and having their swag, the kid was wearing a Chaos jersey, and Rex was like, "We got to get you an Atlas jersey now, kid." And the dad lifts up his hoodie and was like, "I got one on." And Rex looked at the kid and was like, "You should have traded with your dad." But yeah, that was so cool, man. God, what an experience. Like, who would have thought that like an off-season tournament like that would have been like that intense and like have like that was that impactful on my view of an entire sport. That was so cool.
Yeah, I mean, and again, so that was the first weekend. The second weekend is coming up here where they'll do the finals. I believe the way it's set up is the number 4 teams eliminated. So the Chaos went 0-2. They're done. The Atlas finished third. Denver finished second because of goal differential. They both went 1-1. And the Redwoods were number 1. They went 2-0. Again, they looked like the best team out there this weekend. So they're into the championship game. They'll face the winner of Denver and New York. If I was reading this and listening correctly, that'll be this coming weekend for the PLL Champ Series. But yes, again, what a privilege to be there. We can't thank the PLL enough for allowing us access to it, and hopefully doing them justice and being able to talk about the game. It is helping all involved. It is a really cool game. It's a pretty simple sport. And we kind of, when we talked to Rexrode like the first time, he alluded to that, right? It's a sport where everyone has something that they could do. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't know about it, but really it's a very accessible sport. You just need a stick and cleats, right? And the other stuff gets taken care of for you for the most part, right? So it's one of those activities in sports that really more people should get into, because the skill set translates to so many other sports. So if you say, well, I'm a basketball player, well, you can go out and you can improve your game by playing lacrosse. Well, I'm a football player. A lot of what they do translates to that, specifically defense-wise, right?
Hockey.
So hockey, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of lacrosse players and hockey players overlap. That's why in Canada, their 2 national sports are, their summer sport is lacrosse, their winter sport is hockey. That's like an actual thing.
Yeah.
In Canada.
It's the national sport of Canada.
Yes, it was the original national sport. Yes, and then
but you can also like, you can play lacrosse by yourself by like you go to a wall, like go throw it off a brick wall, right? How many times did we see kids do that like growing up, right? You just take a lacrosse stick, go out, throw it off the wall, play catch with yourself, like. You can't do that with a lot of other sports.
No, you're right. You're right. And heck, again, even playing, like, it's simple. I just need a ball, a stick, and I don't even need cleats if I'm going to play with my friends, right? So it's things like that get lost a lot of times. So they go, well, this and this and this. What is lacrosse? It's, really it's a sport for everyone. It's a sport that everyone should try, because if you've done any other sport, you have a skill set that'll translate to this sport, and you'll be able to find your place and find how it goes, right? And you'll be able to try it out. That's the biggest thing, is everyone out there should be giving as many sports as they can a try to see what they enjoy, what they like, what they don't like. Meeting new people from different backgrounds, from all the different sports. It is all a benefit to you, especially as a kid growing up, to do these things. Lacrosse is one of those. So again, thank you to the PLL for giving us that opportunity. It was very cool. Literally one of those once in a lifetime things that we may never get to do again. I don't know. Did we get approved for press passes next weekend? Probably
Have not seen it. Probably because we were drinking a beer.
Yeah, probably not. Yes. But that'll happen. That'll happen from time to time.
Every place is different.
Exactly. All right. Anything else before we move on?
Yeah. While we thanked the PLL and all that, I do think we also owe another big thank you to Michael Rexrode of the New York Atlas, because I mean, had he not told us about this tournament, I don't think any of us would have really known about it, much less thought to put in for press passes for it. And then moreover, even if we had thought to put press passes in, I don't think we get them without him taking the time out of his off season and his life to
his wedding planning.
Come on here a couple of times to speak with us and jaw it up with us a couple of times. So as big a thanks to the PLL, we owe a bigger one, I think, to Michael Rexrode for coming on and spending some time with us.
Of Loudoun County High School and Rutgers University.
Yeah. Rexrode.
There was a guy there, at least one guy. Actually, I think I saw two people with Rutgers sweatshirts on.
Heck yeah.
Which I thought was awesome.
Go Knights!